If Singapore has a culinary cousin, it's Penang. Both cities start out as bustling ports, with each wave of migration adding another layer of flavour, literally to the streets. People love calling that a melting pot, but I never liked it. Walk down the streets here and nothing feels melted. Malay, Indian, Chinese, Peranakan influences stand proudly distinct. And it's that contrast that makes Penang's food culture so vibrant. Char Teow, Laksa, Apom Nasi Kandar, Hokkien Mee, dishes that feel like familiar relatives, but each with their own Penang personality. So today we are diving into the top 5 foods Penang has to offer. Let's get it, guys. Oh, but first we need to get some cash. What, Eldrick, you travel don't change money first one ah? Nah, that's cringe. Especially when I can just use Revolut directly at the Malaysian ATMs, with no service charged by Revolut. If you're from Singapore like me, you need to hear about Revolut. Revolut is an all-in-one financial travel app trusted by over 60 million users worldwide. I tried withdrawing cash at CIMB, HSBC, Maybank, and RHB during my trip, and it worked a treat. I didn't get charged any operator fees by them, and it's the same exchange rate no matter which ATM you go to. With Revolut, you can spend up to 150 different currencies worldwide, all with the same great exchange rate. And yes, that's my custom metal card that I got from the Revolut metal plan. Okay, we got cash. Now, we call a cab. With what data, Eldrick? I'm glad you asked. On top of taking care of your currency woes when traveling, Revolut now offers eSIM packages for over 100 countries, here on the same app. All you need today are your phone, passport, and Revolut, and you're ready to touch down in any airport. You know when you travel, how different people need to pay for different things first? Like call a cab and then you pay for dinner. With Revolut, you can choose the charge and split the bill in-app. You can even customize the percentage split in case I ordered a drink and you didn't. Or the shares if you're traveling with somebody with their family. Sending money to friends and family on Revolut is instant and free. No more annoying post-mortem Excel spreadsheets. Not only that, $30 cashback when you download Revolut through the QR code or the link in the description. T&Cs and end date apply. Alright, we're here on our first stop. Alright, thank you. Our first stop is at Nasi Kandar Deens Maju. Nasi Kandar is as quintessentially Penang as it can get. Kandar refers to shoulder pole, so they used to sell these on the streets with the hawkers carrying buckets of food with the pole. But what the dish is basically nasi campur or cai fan with an emphasis on curry. So they'll add different curries together in what they call banjer, which is to flood the rice with curry. And interestingly, I didn't know this before, but there's this like black brazier, almost like our luzi, which makes this very similar to our Hainanese curry rice. I mean, if you like squint your eyes a little, doesn't it look like it? Anyway, let's get it. The mix of curry is phenomenal. I don't know how many ingredients that I'm tasting. If you take this to a lab, do an analysis of it, 我觉得最少看到50个 compound. It tastes like a better version of the Hainanese curry, and that is a bold claim to make. I say it's better because it's way more nuanced. Not just the fragrance, the use of spice, but I believe there's ketchup manis giving it sweetness, and tomato from somewhere. The flavor is so comprehensive. I laughed just now because it really reminds me of this. If you're a Hainanese curry lover, this is right up your alley. But their toppings are garbage. LG, how can you say that? Oh, first time here? First time on this channel? The beef is so tough. Don't take my word for it. Look at the footage. I'm trying to get a nice cut shot here, but it just doesn't give. The chicken is drier than my love life, and that's saying a lot. The sotong, little rubbery, and they didn't remove this cartilage in the middle. The flavors are all okay, all seasoned well, but everything is overcooked to, I want to say, by 3 to 4 working days. What a curry though. If you remove all of the protein from this dish, I think the rating will drop by 0.5. Alright, let's move on to our next place. We are now at 388 Fried Oyster, beside the very popular 888 Hokkien Mee, and I ordered the medium Ojian. I said something like culinary cousins at the start of the video, right? Ojian is similarly loved in Singapore. Not just that, the version that they fry is also very similar to ours. Gooey, crispy, savory, not like the Taiwanese one. Not very big oysters though. Let's see how it holds up. What an ojian doesn't want to be is fried egg. If you eat ojian but you don't want the oyster flavor, you really have to reconsider some stuff. I don't know why you have to reconsider, but you have to reconsider some things. And here, the oyster flavor is not enough. The oysters that they're using are pretty small. Not only that, I don't think enough oyster water was added into the batter. So sometimes what they will do is they will soak the oysters and then use that water to flavor the egg when they are adding the batter, that step. I don't think it's enough. And while the browning is very nice, I hope that it can be a bit more crispy. The crispy parts will make the gooey parts more gooey because of the difference in texture. Like one of the joys of eating ojian is when you put it in the mouth, right? There's all sorts of different textures. And here, while the gooey parts are very nice, I think the crispiness will bring it up a bit more. All that is to say, not bad. On to our next place. We are here at Leng. How nostalgic. I forgot Char Kway Teow is spelled with a Q. I came here rather early. The number when I came was 13 and my number was 17. And it took me like, 40 minutes? It's just the bane of Char Kway Teow because you have to fry it one by one. If not, there's no point. Anyway, enough yapping. We try first. I really got a little bit of kway teow on my fried seafood. Did we talk about ingredients to noodle ratio in the char kway teow series? I feel like we have. And here between the prawns, the mantis shrimps, the cockles, and the duck egg, I want to say that the volume is more than the kway teow. What that means is that the kway teow is ultra flavorful. Ultra is exactly what I remember it to be. Every sheet of kway teow full of seafood flavor, carried by the oil coating it. At 17 ringgit with this much ingredients is actually value. I already went for the add noodles, which is plus 50 cents. I cannot imagine if I didn't add noodles. This is not the best char kway teow in Penang. I don't think anybody knows where it is. This is a place where you can come up with random words like tiger, barefooted, left-handed, and put them in front of char kway teow, and there will be a place named that. It's not the best, but I believe it's definitely top tier. Also, it's not the best because the wok hei is weak. They are not very aggressive with their fire. I cannot convey the volatile aroma that is in wok hei. I can only tell you that it's weak, but perhaps the more obvious evidence is the noodle. You can see how clean it is. Sure, if you were to be strict about wok hei, there shouldn't be any charring on the noodles, more like browning. But here you can see the noodles are as good as steam. It's as clean as a pretty girl's complexion, even down to the oiliness tendencies. But there's so much brute force flavor with the seafood that it makes up for the aroma level. You all know that I don't like to re-feature a place for a video. I like to shoot new places, but I miss Leng so much that I had to do it. Anyway, on to the next stop. Our next stop is Apom King. I will consider this to be the cousin of our mee jiang kueh. I got the special, which comes with beaten egg and cheese. And the advantage of that is that because they want to cook through the egg and cheese, right? This is significantly more toasted than the normal ones that the previous person ordered. The smell is amazing. The apom is super light and fluffy. The way they cook it, they add like 2 tablespoons of batter into what seems like a non-stick pan that has been gently oiled. And it's really paper thin. It cooks for 12 seconds. Then he uses his hands to remove it. So you get this really light batter. Very fragrant too. It's almost all caramelization. The egg and the cheese is very typical, but like I said just now, the added benefit is that the apom gets to cook for longer. If you see the regular apom is like really light brown, I believe this has a deeper flavor. But decent snack. You can have this to go while walking and it feels like you're just inhaling it. But definitely not enough to be filling. So let's head to our next stop. Over there. We are now across the road at Penang Road famous laksa. I mean, well, in Penang, of course, we have to get Assam laksa, right? This is obviously different from the one we have in Singapore. It's characterized by a heavy use of tamarind and serving it with what I believe is baby mackerel, which comes at 2 extra ringgit. It's been a while since I have Penang laksa. I need a reminder of how it tastes like. We also see in the broth little bits, which according to the legends is why laksa is called laksa. Laksa. But who knows? Let's try it. Oh, seasoning masterclass. Most of us struggle to season in one dimension, saltiness, but here the flavor is being put in all directions. There's a very strong savoriness from all these bits, I'm not sure if you can see, of fish. The soup is not flat at all. It doesn't taste almost like vegetarian like how some Assam laksas might. There is a very deep fishy flavor. I mean, obviously when every mouth you have shreds of fish in the spoon. But back to the seasoning part. The strong heat of savouriness is balanced with good sweetness, sourness from the Assam, from the pineapples, and then topped with herbiness, with raw herbs on the top and cucumber. I would say they found a sweet spot amongst a lot of different flavours. Obviously very different from our idea of laksa, like in Sungai Road laksa. But I would say one similarity between the two bowls is balance. We have 7-8 different kinds of flavors in one bowl, and yet with each spoonful, you taste both the cohesive flavor and the individual flavors at the same time. Wow, I didn't expect to enjoy this so much. This is one of the best seasoned things I've had in a while. Alright, on to the next.
Audrey, you keep comparing Penang food to Singapore's in this video, but you only take one instance from Penang, not even the best one, and then you compare it with what? Your general idea, memory of Singapore's version? So lazy and half-hearted. If you want to compare, you fly back right now, then find one. Alright, bet.
We are now back in Singapore, in Hougang, at和合面煎糕. Now, since the moment I started producing this video, I have learned that both Singapore and Penang have面煎糕and Apom, or Apom balik. This is different from the Tamil variant, Apam, although they look very similar. The Tamil version uses fermented batter, which all works together to bring the cousin analogy closer. Anyway, I got the cheese version for 150. This should be familiar to many of us growing up in Singapore, and Penang perhaps. It smells amazing. Let's give this a go. I just got reminded that this needs to be had fresh. Right now, Manchi Pancakes is going crazy in Singapore. There's so many outlets and the reviews are insane. But the way they do it is that they cook a big pancake and then it's left on the shelf. Whereas this kind of traditional pancakes are all made fresh. And there are two huge advantages in making it fresh. One is obviously that the egg fragrance from the batter is way stronger, which I think is probably a big part of having this dish. And two is that the sides are still brittle and crispy. Too often when you order the Manchi version, if you get the one at the sides, this part is very tough and annoying. And even just having it like, the store is just there. It hasn't been 10 minutes. My sides are already starting to soften. So you must have it fresh. And if you do, it's such a treat. It's a little bit sad because it makes more economical sense to make the Manchi version. You'll earn more. But that also means that the proper way to do it will slowly be phased out. So now on to the thing that I really wanted to compare. We are now at Jian, probably the most popular Hainanese curry rice in Singapore. And you all can see the comparison, right? I'm not crazy, right? The similarities between this and the Nasi Kandar we had at the start of the video. Obviously the toppings are different, which I don't really care about. I'm just here for this. I heard a legend before that Hainanese curry rice is a mixture of 7 different curries and that Beach Road used to do it like that. Well, it's either they changed the recipe, I heard wrongly, or somebody's lying. This curry is rather flat, especially compared to the one we had at Deens Maju. It's not bad. If they serve this at Cai Fan, I'll be totally fine with it. But if you were to pride yourself on a curry rice, I would expect the complexity to be way more. Even within the first few seconds, the disparity between this and Deens Maju is so huge. I don't even think the curry is thickened with ingredients. I believe this is cornstarch slurry. The viscosity is abnormal, which is strange for curry because curry is something that has, 20 ingredients. The toppings are made, pork chop that was crispy left on the shelf, and a pretty regular braised meat. I had a feeling Nasi Kandar was going to be better, but this difference is uncomfortably large. I'll see you guys at the next stop. We are now at Moon Chow, down the road, and I got their iced carbon black, which is interesting because there's a significant amount of crema. This is supposed to be an iced black coffee, but Oh, I thought carbon is like a fancy term to describe the coffee. It simply means carbonated. Interesting. It's like coffee made with tonic water. Anyway, I know what you might be wondering. Hey Eldrick, so fast cafe o'clock already ah? What happened to comparing char kway teow, jian, laksa, Hokkien mee? The ones that I think I have a relatively confident answer, I don't want to re-compare. So we go down the list. Hokkien mee or prawn mee, we talked about it for like 2-3 months. I don't think we need to repeat. Char kway teow, even more obvious. If you are a Penang night, do not eat char kway teow when you come to Singapore. Please don't waste your time. We might have 1 or 2 that can rival the average there, like Menki at Havelock Cook Food Centre. But by and large, eat something else when you're here. Jian, I think Hougang Oyster Omelette is significantly better. I'm rather confident that Hougang is better than 3888. And Laksa is simply too far to be compared. However, if you want a good idea of what Singapore Laksa tastes like, Sungai Road Laksa will be a very good bet. Apam Balik or Mee Jiang Kueh you can get in both cities like I said. The one that was surprising is how far Caesar's cut curry rice was behind Nasi Kandar. Perhaps Jian Dao Jian is already a bad example for curry rice in today's Singapore, but I have to repeat that Nasi Kandar was very good. If I were to choose the best thing I ate this video, it would be Leng Char Kway Teow. I know amongst the Penang people, there are probably 5 better char kway teows, but that's because the average that you're playing at is different. So I hope you enjoyed this video. This was supposed to be a purely Penang food video, but I just got more and more curious the more I shot. And if you disagree with what I said in this video, back it up. Fly to Penang or fly to Singapore. Have both. And then tell me I'm wrong. Nah, I'm just rage baiting. Thank you for watching and thank you to Revolut for sponsoring this video. I'll see you guys next week for the new series. Bye!